The alarm clock screamed at 5:30 a.m., shattering the pre-dawn silence like gunfire. She rolled over, her hand instinctively reaching for the nightstand where her service weapon lay holstered. Another day, another chance to make the streets safer. Or so she told herself as she stared at the ceiling, questioning everything she once believed about justice. The woman in the mirror looked tired. Dark circles framed her eyes, and her long auburn hair hung limp around her shoulders. She had always been proud of that hair. It was her one vanity in a world that demanded she be tough, unyielding, masculine even. But today, something felt different. Today felt like a day for change. Her morning routine was mechanical: black coffee, 2 sugars, wheat toast with butter. The newspaper lay folded on her kitchen table, headlines screaming about corruption scandals and police brutality. She pushed it aside without reading. She knew the reality better than any journalist ever could. At the precinct, the familiar chaos greeted her. Phones ringing, suspects being processed, the smell of stale coffee and desperation hanging in the air like fog. Her partner, Detective Marcus Rodriguez, 34, a 15-year veteran with graying temples and laugh lines that had deepened over the years, was already at his desk reviewing case files. "Morning, sunshine," Marcus called out, not looking up from his paperwork. "Got 3 domestic calls overnight and a robbery on 5th Street. Looks like it's going to be one of those days." She nodded, settling into her chair across from him. Their desks faced each other in the bullpen, an arrangement that had fostered their partnership over the past 4 years. Marcus was one of the few people who truly understood the weight she carried, the constant pressure of being a woman in a male-dominated profession, the need to prove herself again and again. "Marcus," she said suddenly, her voice cutting through the morning chatter, "do you ever think about changing everything? Just starting over?" He looked up then, his dark eyes studying her face with the intensity he usually reserved for crime scenes. "What's eating at you? You've been off your game for weeks." She touched her hair absently, running her fingers through the long strands. "I'm thinking of cutting it all off. Short. Really short." "Your hair?" Marcus raised an eyebrow. "That's what's got you twisted up? Hell, it's just hair. It'll grow back." "It's not just about the hair," she snapped, then immediately softened her tone. "Sorry. It's everything. This job, this life, this person I've become. I look in the mirror and I don't recognize myself anymore." The conversation was interrupted by Sergeant Williams, a stocky man in his 50s whose authority filled every room he entered. "We got a situation downtown," he announced to the bullpen. "Armed robbery in progress at First National. I need units on scene now." She stood up, her hand automatically checking her weapon and radio. The adrenaline kicked in, that familiar rush that had kept her sane through 5 years of police work. At 28, she was one of the youngest detectives in the precinct, having earned her shield through a combination of sharp instincts and relentless determination. As they drove toward the bank, sirens wailing, Marcus glanced at her profile. "You know what your problem is? You think too much. Sometimes you just gotta act. Trust your gut." "My gut's been wrong before," she replied, checking her service weapon one more time. "Remember the Johnson case? I was so sure he was innocent, fought for him for months. Turns out he was guilty as sin.